The first sound that broke the quiet afternoon at the playground was not laughter, not the creak of swings, not even the distant hum of traffic, but a thin, trembling breath that came from a little girl who had never heard her own voice. It happened on an ordinary weekday under a pale sky, the kind of day no one remembers until something extraordinary carves into memory forever, before the story unfolds any further. If you believe in kindness, in quiet heroes, and in second chances that arrive when we least expect them, take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel. Stories like this remind us that one small act can change a lifetime. Emily Carter was used to control. As the CEO of a fast-growing healthcare technology company in Chicago, she managed teams across continents, negotiated million-dollar contracts, and made decisions that affected thousands of lives. Her days were measured in meetings and metrics, not moments. Yet no success, no title, and no wealth could prepare her for the ache that lived quietly inside her every time she watched her daughter, Lily, sitting alone. Lily was 6 years old, bright-eyed, observant, and gentle, but she had never spoken a word. Doctors called it selective mutism, layered with trauma from the sudden loss of her father in a car accident 3 years earlier. Therapy sessions filled Emily's calendar just like board meetings did, but progress was painfully slow. Emily could fix systems, not silence. She could lead companies, not heal the invisible wounds in her child. On that afternoon, Emily had canceled a late meeting and decided to take Lily to a nearby public playground, hoping a change of routine might help. She sat on a bench scrolling through emails while Lily played quietly with pebbles near the sandbox, her small hands arranging them in careful patterns. Emily watched her from behind dark sunglasses, her heart tightening as she noticed how other children laughed loudly, calling to their parents, while Lily remained wrapped in her quiet world. Emily told herself that patience was part of love, but some days patience felt like helplessness wearing a polite mask. A few benches away sat a man who looked like life had worn him down gently but firmly over the years. His name was Daniel Brooks, though no one at the playground knew it then. He was a single father, recently laid off from a warehouse job, surviving on temporary shifts and determination. His clothes were clean but faded, his shoes worn at the edges. Beside him sat his 5-year-old son, Noah, pushing a toy truck through the dirt with intense concentration. Daniel watched his son with the kind of attention that came from knowing how quickly stability could disappear. After his wife passed away from illness 2 years earlier, Daniel had learned to carry grief quietly so his son would not feel its weight. Daniel noticed Lily before Emily noticed him. He saw how Lily lingered at the edges, how her eyes followed other children, but her feet never quite moved toward them. He recognized that look. He had seen it in Noah during the months after his mother died, when words felt too heavy to lift. Daniel felt a pull, not of pity, but of understanding. Still, he stayed where he was, knowing some spaces should not be crossed without invitation. The moment came unexpectedly. Noah's toy truck rolled away from him and stopped near Lily's carefully arranged pebbles. Noah followed it, crouching nearby, smiling openly as children often do. Lily stiffened, her shoulders tightening, her eyes darting toward her mother. Emily looked up, ready to intervene, but Daniel caught her eye and gave a small, reassuring nod, silently asking for a moment. Emily hesitated. Control told her to step in. Hope told her to wait. Daniel approached slowly, kneeling at a distance, making himself smaller, less threatening. He did not speak to Lily. Instead, he picked up a stick and began drawing lines in the sand, simple shapes, circles and waves, letting the motion speak for him. Noah joined in, laughing softly as the shapes grew into roads for his truck. Lily watched, her fingers curled into her sleeves. Then, almost without realizing it, she picked up a pebble and placed it at the edge of one of the drawn roads. Daniel smiled, not at her directly, but at the pebble, as if it were the most important contribution in the world. Minutes passed. Emily felt her breath shallow, her chest tight, as she watched from the bench. Daniel never once asked Lily to speak. He never looked disappointed by her silence. He simply made space for her presence. When the wind picked up, Lily shivered slightly. Daniel noticed and quietly took off his hoodie, placing it gently on the bench nearby without offering it directly. Emily stood to object, but Lily surprised her by walking over and wrapping the hoodie around herself. Emily froze, tears threatening to spill, not from the gesture itself, but from the trust it represented. Then it happened. As Noah pushed his truck too fast, it tipped over, landing upside down near Lily's feet. Lily stared at it, her brow furrowing in concentration. Daniel held his breath, sensing something fragile unfolding. Lily bent down, picked up the truck, and placed it upright. Her lips parted. A sound formed, shaky and uncertain, as if the air itself was unsure it should exist. One word escaped her mouth, barely louder than the rustling leaves, but unmistakably real. Emily heard it. The world narrowed to that single sound. Her knees weakened as she realized what had just occurred. Lily had spoken, not in a therapist's office, not during structured exercises, but here, in the open, with a stranger who asked nothing of her except to be seen. Emily rushed forward, her composure cracking as tears streamed freely down her face. She knelt, pulling Lily into her arms, trembling with disbelief and gratitude. The playground seemed to pause, as if even time respected the weight of the moment. Daniel stepped back, instinctively giving space, his own eyes burning as he watched a miracle he had not intended but somehow helped create. Emily looked up at him, her face a mix of awe and confusion. She wanted to speak, to ask who he was, to thank him properly, but words failed her just as they had failed her daughter for so long. In the days that followed, Emily could not stop thinking about Daniel. She replayed the scene over and over, analyzing it not as a CEO, but as a mother. She realized that Daniel had done what no specialist had managed yet. He had met Lily where she was, without expectations or pressure, through a mutual acquaintance who lived nearby. Emily learned Daniel's story. She learned about his job loss, his quiet strength, and his devotion to his son. The contrast between their worlds felt sharp and unfair. Emily made a decision that surprised even her closest advisors. She invited Daniel to her office, not as charity, but as opportunity. Daniel arrived nervous, unsure why someone like her would want to see someone like him. Emily listened as he spoke about his life, his struggles, and his son. For once, she did not interrupt, did not steer the conversation. She simply listened. She offered him a position within her company, starting in operations support with training and stability. It was not framed as a favor, but as recognition of character. Life did not transform overnight, but began to shift. Daniel found steady work and a sense of dignity he thought he had lost. Noah adjusted to a more secure routine, his laughter returning in fuller waves. Lily continued therapy, but now with something new inside her, a spark of confidence that grew with each small victory. Emily learned to slow down, to measure success not just in growth charts and profit margins, but in quiet moments of connection. Years later, Emily would stand on a stage, delivering a keynote speech about leadership and empathy, but the story she told was not about her company's rise. It was about a playground, a single father, and a moment that redefined her understanding of strength. She spoke about how real leadership often appears without titles, how healing sometimes comes from unexpected hands. Just before this story ends, take a moment to comment below and share what this moment meant to you. Your thoughts might be the encouragement someone else needs today. On a crisp autumn afternoon, long after that first word was spoken, Emily watched Lily run across the same playground, her laughter ringing clear and confident. Daniel sat on the same bench as before, watching both children play together now, their friendship natural and unforced. Emily felt a deep, steady peace settle within her. She understood then that the world does not change through grand gestures alone, but through small, human moments of understanding. Sometimes, the voice we help someone find ends up changing our own life forever.